Hi, welcome back to this podcast, Famous Book Lessons and Summaries. We will continue our summary of the book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth by Harv Eker. This is part 2 of the book. Do check our previous episode for the summary on part 1 if you missed it. Now, the summary of the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. If your subconscious money blueprint is not set on success, nothing you learn, nothing you know, and nothing that you accomplish will truly make a difference. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind Part 2. In this part, Harv Eker presents the differences between the way the rich think and the way poor people or middle class people view things. He develops 17 attitudes and actions to adapt to permanently change one's financial life. As we saw in the first part, thoughts lead to feelings, which lead to actions, which lead to results. So, we can choose to think in ways that promote success rather than the opposite. We can learn to think like rich people to achieve the same results as rich people. For rich people think very differently from poor people and the middle class. They think differently about money, wealth, themselves, others, and almost every dimension of life. To think like rich people, we must therefore know how rich people think. This is what Harv Eker presents to us here, after having taken the precaution of stating that he does not want to denigrate the poor or seem to lack compassion for them. The author prefaces his remarks by apologizing for the awful generalizations that he will make so that we can grasp and put into practice each principle laid out. Here are his observations. 1. The rich believe in, I create my life. The poor believe in, life happens to me. The first secret of the millionaire mind is that to make a fortune, it is imperative that you believe that you are in control of your life, especially your financial life. You must believe that it is you who creates your success as well as your mediocrity or your difficulties in terms of money and success. Instead of taking responsibility for what's happening in their lives, poor people play the victim. But a victim who is truly rich does not exist. 2. The rich play the money game to win. The poor play the money game to not lose. The poor play the money game defensively. They are primarily concerned with their survival and security, whereas the rich seek wealth and abundance. If the intention is to just have enough to pay the bills, that is what happens. Just enough to pay the bills and not a penny more. A secret of the millionaire mind is that if you aim to be financially comfortable, you may never become rich. However, if you want to be rich, you have the chance to become financially comfortable. 3. The rich are committed to being rich. The poor want to be rich. Everyone has in their minds a wealth file that contains their personal beliefs about wealth. This file includes how wonderful it will be to be rich. But for many people, it also includes reasons why being rich might not be so great. Therefore, their minds are confronted with conflicting messages about wealth. They don't know what they really want. The poor usually have a lot of good reasons to believe that getting rich can be a problem, while the rich know perfectly well that they want wealth. 4. The rich think big, the poor think small. Most people choose to think small. On the other hand, because they are afraid of failure and even more of success. but also because they feel small. They feel unworthy and don't feel good enough and important enough to make a real difference in people's life. That said, the world doesn't need more people who think small. The world needs natural talents and gifts from everyone. We have to share our value with as many people as possible, which means being willing to think big. Thinking small and acting small leads to being broke and dissatisfied. Thinking big and acting big leads to being rich mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and most definitely financially. 5. The rich focus on opportunities, the poor focus on obstacles. Another secret of the millionaire mind is that the rich see opportunities, the poor see obstacles. The rich focus on rewards, the poor focus on risks. The poor makes choices based on fear. They continually look at situations from the angle of what is wrong or might be wrong with them. Their first instinct is to say, what if it doesn't work? Or, more often, it won't work. The rich reacts by instinctively saying, it will work because I'm going to make it work. They expect to succeed. They trust their abilities, their creativity, and believe that if it should go wrong, they will find another way to succeed. 6. The rich admire other rich and successful people. The poor resent rich and successful people. Poor people often feel resentment, jealousy, and envy for the success of others. They behave as if they believe that the rich made them poor. However, if you perceive the rich as bad in a certain way and you yourself want to be a good person, then you will never be rich. Indeed, how could you be what you despise? Instead of resenting the rich, Harv Eker suggests trying to admire, bless, and like rich people. In this way, your mind subconsciously remembers that when you are rich, others will admire you, bless you, and like you rather than resent you forever, as may be the case for you right now. 7. The rich associate with positive and successful people. The poor associate with negative and unsuccessful people. Successful people observe other successful people with the goal of modeling after them and learning from them. They say to themselves that the quickest and easiest way to make a fortune is to find out exactly how the rich, who are masters of the money game, play it. Their goal is to imitate their strategies. Unlike the rich, when the poor hear about the success of others, they often judge them, criticize them, make fun of them, and try to belittle them. How can they learn and draw inspirations from those they despise? Instead of making fun of the rich, imitate them. Instead of distancing yourself from the rich because they intimidate you, get to know them. Tell yourself, if they can do it, I can do it too. 8. The rich are willing to promote themselves and their value. The poor think negatively about selling and promotion. Being frustrated with sales and promotion is one of the biggest obstacles to success. People who complain about sales and promotions are often broke or about to become broke. It's true that the market is full of products and services. It's not enough to be the best. People still need to know. Let's say you know a very effective medicine for a particular problem. If you meet someone who is suffering from this problem, will you hide from them the means to cure themselves? Will you expect the other person to read your mind and guess that you have the remedy to his problem? If you believe in your value, in the value of what you offer, why hide that from the people who need it? If what you have to offer can really help others, it is your duty to let as many people know as possible. In this way, you will help others, but that is also how you can become rich. Yes, where value flows, money flows. How about that? 9. The rich are bigger than their problems. The poor are smaller than their problems. The road to riches is full of obstacles, traps, and detours. That is why most people don't take this road. They don't want any problems. At the sight of a challenge, they run for their lives. However, by trying to avoid problems at all costs, they find themselves faced with the biggest problems of all. They find themselves broke and miserable. The secret to avoiding this is therefore not to try to avoid, eliminate, or run away from problems, but to grow so as to become bigger than them. It is up to you to decide to be a bigger person and to not allow any problem, any obstacle to deprive you of your happiness or success. 10. The rich are excellent receivers. The poor are poor receivers. Most people don't know how to receive, and since they don't know how to receive, they simply don't receive. So, what can you do? First, start by treating yourself. Give yourself some spending money to do things that you enjoy. In this way, you increase your self-esteem and you practice receiving. Then, practice feeling crazily excited and grateful every time you receive or find money of any amount. When you have expanded your ability to receive, you will receive. Even better, when you are truly open to receiving, the rest of your life will open up. Not only will you receive more money, but you will also receive more love, more peace, more happiness, more satisfaction. In fact, how we do anything is how we do everything. 11. The rich choose to be paid based on results. The poor choose to be paid based on time. The poor prefers to be paid a steady salary or hourly wage. They need the security they get from knowing that they will receive exactly the same amount of money at the same time throughout the year. What escapes them is that this security has a price. It costs them wealth. In fact, exchanging time for money means accepting to limit your income since the time itself is limited. Living based in security is living based in fear. It is like saying to yourself, I'm afraid of not being able to gain enough based on my performance. The rich prefer to be paid according to the results they get, if not entirely, at least in part. They get their income from their profits. They believe in themselves, in their value, and in their ability to achieve results. The rich think both. The poor think either this or that. The poor focus on limitations. They think that there is not enough, that they can't have everything, that they must choose. They believe that you can't have money and other dimensions of life, that you can't have money and happiness. The rich focus on abundance. They are convinced that there is a way to have money and happiness in the same way that one can have arms and legs. 13. The rich focus on their net worth. The poor focus on their earned income. The poor focus exclusively on the income they earn. The rich, for their part, have realized that wealth is really measured by net worth and not net income. To determine your net worth, calculate the value of everything you own, your cash, your investments, the value of your home, if you have one, the value of your business, if you have one, and then subtract from them all your debts. That will give you an estimate of your net worth. To increase your net worth, focus on the 4 factors that make it up: income, savings, return on your investments, simplification of your lifestyle to reduce your expenses. 14. The rich manage their money well. The poor manage their money poorly. The poor either poorly manage their money or completely avoid managing it under the pretext of not having enough. The rich are not any more intelligent than the poor. Simply, they adopt different and more beneficial financial habits. 15. The rich have their money work hard for them. The poor work hard for their money. While there is no doubt that working hard is important, working hard alone won't make you rich. Millions and even billions of people work like slaves for a long time without being rich. Quite the opposite. While we see the rich spend their afternoons playing golf, shopping, or lounging in a luxury hotel. For the rich, working hard to make money is only temporal. They work hard until their money works for them and takes over. For the poor, working hard is a permanent situation. This is an important principle of the well-known book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by the American author Robert Kiyosaki. 16. The rich act in spite of fear. The poor let fear stop them. Rich and successful people have fears, doubts, worries, but they do not allow these feelings to paralyze them. Poor and unsuccessful people have fears, doubts, worries, and they let these feelings paralyze them. If you want to make a fortune or succeed, you must be willing to do what is necessary. You must not let anything or anyone to stop you. If you are not willing to do what is easy, life will be difficult. If you are willing to do what is difficult, life will be easy. It's as simple as that. The rich constantly learn and grow. The poor think they already know. The poor often try to prove that they are right. They give the impression that they already know everything and that it's only because of bad luck or temporary age if they are broke or have difficulties. That said, if you are not actually rich and happy, there is a good chance that you still need to learn about money, success, and life. The poor claim they can't afford to educate themselves because of lack of time or money. The rich, on the other hand, identify with Benjamin Franklin's quote, "If you find that education is expensive, then try ignorance." Wow! I must say that it was difficult to summarize these because almost everything in this book is important. Hope you got value from this episode. Remember, this series of podcasts was born to provide you with life lessons, business lessons, and summaries of your favorite bestsellers. Subscribe today, and if there's any book you need a summary on, do let us know. Also, share your thoughts with me and I'll be glad to respond to you. I'm Onuzrike Chukwagozie. See you on the next one.